When people are released from jail, they have the responsibility to appear in court. But some of these people choose to go on the run.
They go back home to mommy.
And that is when these guys come into the picture. So sit back and listen to the Off the Hook podcast with Chad and Rob.
Very fine people on both sides.
These are real stories, but the names have been changed.
What's going on, guys? I'm Rob.
And I'm Chad. What's up? How you doing?
It's same old, man. It's been it's a holiday season, man. It's time for everybody to be loving each other and having a good time and be thankful that Trump is still your president. I had to throw it in there, man. I'm sorry. So today's episode, we got a really good story for you guys. But first, we're going to touch on little things, man. I came home last night, Chad, from writing a bond.
Yay!
Yay!
Good stuff.
Yeah. Actually, repeat client. Thank you, sir.
Happens.
So I come home last night, dude. I was working all day yesterday. We were busy as hell, and I got home about 9 o'clock, and my girlfriend's on the couch watching Hallmark Christmas movies since it's that time of the season. So I'm sitting there looking at. I see it all the time. I'm just like, oh God, another one. So I'm looking up there, and I see it's the same girl up there all the time. And I pulled her up here. Her name is Lacey Chabert. I think she's pretty. I think
she is pretty.
She's a pretty girl, but she's in like every single one of them.
Well, I think they have their go-to people that are in a lot of those.
Yeah, and Chad Michael Murray's on it.
Chad's in a lot of them.
Yeah,
Sophia,
where you at, Chad?
I think
right here.
Bethany Lentz is in them.
Yeah.
She was in the one in Biltmore, Biltmore House.
Yeah, Joy. Yeah,
Joy.
Yeah,
She got Bethany, Joy,
something like
Lentz, something like that. I remember I spoke to her and I think I said, "Yeah, my wife's name is Bethany," and she's like, "Oh, cool."
Well, Christmas is here. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, a little early for me, but
yeah,
Thanksgiving's late this year, so yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So, what else is going on, man? Tell everybody what's been going on downtown here, man. That's everybody's going to see.
Oh yeah, just a lot of filming going on. Our buddy Hunter sent me a picture. I think while you were gone, Hunter sent me a picture of him and Dee Snider, Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah, man. You sent me that picture. That was pretty cool.
I want to rock. Yeah, rock. That guy. Yeah, him and Dee Snider. Dee Snider's 69.
Man,
he looks the same.
Feel old.
Well, yeah, but you're not 69. No, but he's down here. Evidently, he's partnered in Dark Horse Studios. Yeah, brand new one that they built here. But they do a lot of filming here in Wilmington, for those who don't know. And every time we come to the office, there's these huge trucks and film stuff all over the place, and tents they set up for catering, and it's crazy. Like, you'll see this whole makeshift town up here, and then like the next morning, poof, it's gone.
Yeah, it's
they
weird.
Stay up all night taking it down.
Yeah, I was walking to band practice at Gary Steele Studios down here on Princess, and they were doing a bunch of filming that day, and I didn't know. I had to park
you
away.
Just never know, on some random street. There it is.
I grabbed my guitar and I'm walking through kind of the whole set, because you still got to do your walk through there.
They can't stop.
So I look over and I see a guy that looks very familiar, but I won't think, I was kind of in my own zone.
Yeah.
And he goes, I say, "Good morning, sir," or "Good afternoon." And he goes, "How you doing, sir?" I was like, just going over here to play some music. He goes, "I'd rather be with you guys." I was like, "Hey, we're right over here." I didn't think nothing of it. He looked familiar. And then so he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, y'all keep playing, man." And he goes, I love seeing it." I'm like, "I appreciate it." Just figuring it was a nice guy, right?
Yeah. You didn't know who
it was Mark Wystritz. He's the lead singer for Midland, a country band. And I was like, "Oh, shit. Oh, that was pretty cool." So, Mark, thank you, buddy.
He's in some movie, I guess.
They're filming some movie down here.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, it's pretty neat to see it, though. Seeing the film industry down here flourishing.
Yeah, I remember what was a couple summers ago. We have our little golf cart. We were riding around downtown, and I go to that store. It was actually it's where we get our shoes or tennis shoes.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like an athletic outdoor store, and that used to be Karen's coffee shop.
Karen's Cafe.
Karen's Cafe. That's it.
From One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember going in there and like they have a little stand back there. Like they have all this clothing and outdoorsy stuff. And then they have a little glass stand with coffee mugs that say Karen's Cafe on. I'm like, what is that? She said, oh, it used to be a show that was filmed here. Before, we just got to doing all the security for those guys. And I didn't know. I'd never seen an episode, so I didn't know. So I watched up to like season 5.
Oh, I did like the first episode, and I said I can't do this.
Actually, it's written really well.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm just not into teeny bopper shows.
No, but Dan was a good character, man.
Yeah.
I really like Dan's character, man. He was a mean guy.
I mean, we've had some really good TV shows come out of Wilmington here.
Oh yeah, TV shows, movies, old movies. I mean, there's been movies here for a long time. Firestarter,
Domestic Disturbance.
Domestic Disturbance. Yeah, I actually got the autograph from John Travolta for my mother. I took her Grease album, and I know, was it Grease? No, I got the Saturday Night Fever. I should have got Grease, but I got Saturday Night Fever, and I had him sign it to Nancy loved John Travolta. And
that's awesome.
Gave it to her, and she just thought that was so cool.
Your mama, Chad's mother is the sweetest woman in the world. I love her half to death. I ain't seen her in a while. I can't wait to see her again.
Yeah.
So, other than that, anything else going on? Other than Ellen DeGeneres leaving the country?
Ellen, where are you going?
I don't think she's leaving because of trouble. I think she's leaving because she's P. Diddy's buddy.
I think there's going to be a few more you're going to see leave.
I hope so, because I'm tired of it, especially
before January 20th. I'm guessing.
Look, man, I'm telling you, Beyonce and Jay-Z, y'all call me crazy. I've been saying this for years before any of this shit came out. I've been saying this for years. I think they're possessed. I'm telling you, you can't convince me otherwise. I think they are straight up crazy, possessed. I don't want nothing to do with them.
Well, they're not right. Something's off for sure.
They live in another world. But other than that, so we're going to go into our story here. So this time, I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah, this is one that Rob did without me. He started going out and doing stuff, and he would just call back and tell me how it was going on the road.
Yeah, so this one is out of Texas.
It was you and 2 other guys, right?
Yeah, man.
We won't name them, but
that was a long trip. So
this is when you first came on with me, right?
It was close to that.
So about 7 years ago, maybe.
I want to say more 8, 9, maybe something like that. I don't know, dude.
It's been a while.
I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday.
Well, cool.
So anyway, we're going to go right into it. So here we go.
I can tell stories. Got too much to tell. I can tell stories.
That's right. We got. There we go.
Pump it up.
There we go. Chad loves it. He loves this shit. So our story starts out as here in Wilmington. I get a call from a bondsman out of Henderson, North Carolina, on a $50,000 bond skip that went down to Texas. And he gave me a lot of good information, and that's another thing.
And Texas is a tricky state for bondsmen to go into. They're not very reciprocal to us.
And this is a very intense story on my end because I was scared to death. I was sweating bullets. But we'll get to that in a second. So I can't remember the bondsman's name to save my life up in Henderson. I think he's passed away now. The last time because I was up there not too long ago and tried to stop by and see him, and I think he passed away. God bless his soul. So he gives me a call, tells me this guy's down there, says, well, do whatever you got to do to get down there. All right, cool.
It's not his ass on the line. Of course he's going to say that.
Yeah. So he's like, get him. And he gave me a bunch of good information. Of course, we start looking into it, and we see that he is in a little town called Beeville. I think that's what it's called. Let me see here. I got it pulled up. I had it pulled up.
It's pretty deep into Texas.
Right here. Beeville. Yeah, so it's right outside of Corpus Christi, hour or two, kind of southeast of San Antonio, and it's middle of nowhere. So we got a definite address on him, and we know that it's a camper and a campground. Of course, we booked the tickets. It's me and 2 other agents. We fly down to San Antonio. As soon as we get into San Antonio, we grab 2 rental cars because we have a lot of ground to cover. And we don't know if one person's got to go one way, one person's got to go the other. We don't know what we're going into. So we get into San Antonio and we start driving down, I think 37 here. Yeah, start driving down 37. And it's in the middle of the night when we get there. And we ain't had no sleep. We're tired.
Did you say what were his charges?
He heroin and obtaining property by false pretense. So he was stealing stuff to pay for his addiction.
Okay.
So kind of the usual name of the game.
Happens a lot. Yeah.
Happens a lot. So we get to Beeville and we're tired. And we all get in the... we had a Nissan Altima or something like that, or a Nissan Maxima, and an SUV.
Okay.
So we're all in the car. We're watching the camper. There's nobody there, but we're like, all right, let's get some sleep. And first thing in the morning, if we see the truck pull up, boom, we'll get them, right? Didn't happen that way, though.
Never does.
It sucked, too. We sat there, and of course, we're talking the whole time. We don't know what to do other than, all right, we don't want to make ourselves known, but we ain't got much time neither. So we decided to say, the hell with it. We're going to talk to the maintenance guy. It's a nice trailer park, camper park, whatever.
Okay.
And he was cool. Dude was cool. He let us in into his camper because he was renting it from him. And we showed him all the paperwork, and there was no problem. So we go in, and he's got stuff all over the place. He's got a notebook at his little kitchen table. He's got a notebook, and we open it up, and it shows that he's been doing HVAC work on the side. And he's got everything listed here, names, numbers of places he's gone. He's got a card with his name and phone number on it. And it's like, that's jackpot to us.
Yeah. You can say, hey, I need you to come back and look at this.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So we talked to the maintenance guy. The maintenance guy was telling us that he had a girlfriend down in Corpus Christi, which is not, like I said, it wasn't far from where we were at.
Yeah.
And the maintenance man knows he's been going back and forth, but he's been staying down there a lot. So he was either at Beeville or Corpus Christi. So we made a decision to go down to Corpus.
Okay.
All right. And while we're going down there, I'm on the phone with a number of PIs because you got to have a PI down with you in Texas.
Yep, that's the deal with Texas.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm on the phone with a number of them, and nobody could get to me. Then I called one PI down there, and he goes, well, I've had this file for 6 months, and you'll never find him. I'm like, dude, I know exactly the area he's in. I've got his phone number. I've got everything. I've got his girlfriend. I know where the area he's in. And he said, well, give me a call. I'm like, okay, cool. So I figured we'd get a PI on standby right now, right? We're driving, and man, in Texas, if you've ever been to Texas,
drove through it, yep.
You got to dodge these armadillos, man.
They roll up in little balls and will dribble under your car when you hit one.
Man, I thought I was going to mess the car up, whatever. So we get down to Corpus and we go to the area because we run the girlfriend's information. And the girlfriend's house that she's living in is in a bad little neighborhood, but it's only like 4 trailers together on this road.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else around until you go A couple miles down the road, there's another little section of trailers or whatever. And these people are just, they're drug addicts. So we go into one of the neighbors' houses.
Oh, did you find a good one?
Yeah, we saw them out there, and we're like, hey, we got money if you can tell us what his duty is. They're like, we know him, but we don't know him that good. But we know the girlfriend, and she stays over in the house. I'm like, yeah, we know.
Right.
So, they're like waking up from a heroin slumber, I guess.
But they see opportunity.
They see money because we offered them $200.
Yeah, hey, that'll buy.
That'll buy a lot of heroin.
Yes, yeah.
So they were like all about it. So I had his phone number. I said, "This is what you need to do. Call the guy, and we're going to find a house that's under construction somewhere.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we need some HVAC work done." So that was the plan.
Right.
So the guy was like, "Here, I know a neighborhood down the road. I know where they're doing a bunch of work at." I'm like, "Because you probably stole something out of the neighborhood." That's what I'm thinking. But I don't say it. You know, I'm trying to be buddies with them.
Right, right.
And the two guys that are with me are like, "This will never work." I'm like, "Dude, it'll work. I promise." So we go find the house. We get the address of this house. And he calls the guy. And he's like, "Yeah, man." And he goes, "I can be there. No problem. Give me a couple of hours. I'm working on the other side of Corpus. Give me a couple of hours. I'll be there." Mm-hmm. All right. Sweet. So we told him, "Hey, you'll see, we're in a little Nissan Maxima is what we're in."
Yeah.
And the guys that were with me had I want to say a Tahoe SUV, but we had parked it down the street behind a gas station. And we're all up in the car. So time goes by. Of course he's late. Because he's a heroin addict. They're never on time.
Have you ever seen a punctual heroin addict?
I have not. Unless they're jonesing for something. Then they're all over you, probably.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do heroin.
No,
we don't do it. So we're on the phone with him, and he's on the way. This is come back from memory. So he gets there. He's on the way. He's 10 minutes out. And I tell one of the agents gets on one side of the house. Me and the other agent get on the other side. And our two informants are out front waiting on him. He pulls up.
Okay.
When he pulls up, he takes him around because we found the HVAC unit. And we're like, bring him here. And we'll jump on him. Cool? Cool. He gets out, and he's him-hawing, talking with the guys, and they're like, "All right, it's over here." So they bring him around the house, and of course, my heart's thumping out of my chest.
I was going to say, man, that's when your heart starts racing, because you know what you're about to go do.
That adrenaline, adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
if you guys at home ever knew what it felt like, it's a rush.
Guys, anybody watching this that hunts, shoots animals and stuff, it's like that, but times 100. Yeah. And when he comes around the corner and he bends down, I let him bend down to start looking at the HVAC unit. We pop out on top of him and bulldoze him. Yeah.
Get him in handcuffs.
Was he a little guy, big guy?
No, he was a taller guy. He was a little bit taller than me, about 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
About 170 pounds.
Oh, so he was pretty thin.
Yeah, he was pretty thin.
I said, you don't gain a lot of weight on that heroin.
Nah.
Right? No.
So we hit him, and so I get him in handcuffs, and I look down, and my partner, he's taking his boots off. I'm like, "Oh yeah, good job, taking his boots off." And we pull him up, and he goes, "Can I make a phone call?"
Nah, I know that old trick.
I said, "I know, no, I know that old trick." He goes,
"Sure."
The guy said, "Where's your cell phone?" He goes, "It's in my pocket." I'm like, I grab it, I look at it, I go, "Yeah, we ain't doing this," and I threw it.
It worked for him before, right?
Yeah, it worked for him before.
Yeah.
He called, the law. So I'm gonna back up before we got him. I called the PI. I said, "Hey, I need you. I know where he's at. He's coming here, be in here in like 2 hours." "Oh, I can't help you." I'm like, "Dude, what do you want me to do? I know the guy. He's here." So I'm trying to call the sheriff's department. I'm trying to call everybody. Nobody will call me back. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to jump on him. So we jumped on him and got him. Throw him in the car. We go down the street. I give the crackheads $200. I was like, here, see you later. They're happy. They're happy. And we go to the convenience store, and here comes the crackheads going into the convenience store buying beer. They about to party. So we're behind the convenience store, and we switch our fugitive out of the Nissan into the SUV, and I send them guys on the road, and it's just me and the Nissan. And we're getting out of there, and I call the bondsman and say, hey, we got him in custody. We're on the way back right now. He's like, sweet. We can't fly out of there. We have to drive all the way back to North Carolina. It's such a long drive. So what we're going to do is I was going to drop off the rental car in Lafayette, Louisiana. And that's what we did. But before we got to Lafayette, I get a phone call from the sheriff of the county that we were in Corpus Christi.
Where you at, boy?
He said, Mr. Allen. I said, yeah. He goes, well, I gotta give it to you. Why are you in my county? I said, man, I tried calling you 1,000,000 times. Nobody would call me back. Mm-hmm. And I saw an opportunity. I had to take it, bro. I'm so sorry. He said, well, all I can say is I appreciate you getting that man out of my county because he's a problem in my county. They already know him.
Oh, wow. Well, that helps.
Yeah, I was like, well, I appreciate it. He goes, so I got a bolo out for 2 black individuals and 2 white males in a Nissan. I was like, well, you ain't going to find that. He goes, why is that? I was like, he ain't in this car. He goes, I tell you what. I tell you what. He goes,
well played.
Yeah, it's been years ago, so, you can't come back at me now. So he goes, well, Mr. Allen, if you ever come back down here again, come see me personally. He goes, and I will help you. Got no problem helping you guys out. Y'all help us. Y'all take the trash out for us. He goes, man, I back you guys 100%. He goes, but you come see me. I said, yes, sir. He goes, do you have a picture of the man? I said, well, yeah. I said, hang on a second. I had the guy send me a picture of him in the back of his SUV. He goes, well, I can definitely tell y'all he's in an SUV, not a Nissan. I said, yep. He starts laughing. He's laughing. He goes, well, I'll tell you what. He goes, I might be giving you a call to come teach my deputies how to work that fast because we got the whole thing on camera. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, one of the neighbors' cameras caught y'all. He goes, y'all were smooth and y'all were fast. He goes, my deputies do not move like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, appreciate it. Am I in trouble? And he goes, absolutely not. He goes, thank you very much. He goes, have a safe trip back.
And that's how you do it in these places that give bondsmen trouble. Like, that's what we're doing is removing a problem for you. And that's great.
And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So evidently, though, I don't know what happened. But when I dropped this car off at Lafayette, Enterprise Rental Car will not rent to me anymore. And this was the last straw. Because when I parked it, the fugitive goes, man, what you hit, an RPG? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, look at your back bumper. And I looked, I'm like, oh, it's all dented in. I was like, well, I got the insurance, so whatever. Evidently, when I was going through the traffic in Houston, was it Houston? Yeah, it was Houston. When we're coming through there was a bunch of road construction. I don't know if I hit something, whatever, but I don't know. This is the last straw. They won't let me rent from them anymore. And so I dropped the car off. I get in the SUV, and we're driving. Now, this time, we've got a long ways to go, and we still got a prisoner in handcuffs. We take turns sleeping, watching him, driving
long haul.
Back and forth. We get in right before we get to Georgia. We're in Alabama. And right before we get to Georgia, I get a phone call back from the bondsman. Hey, how y'all doing? Doing good.
Right.
He goes, I got a girl that missed court on me. She's down in South Carolina, right off I-20. I was like, oh, okay, let me look it up. And I remember I was sitting in the second row. Excuse me. And the fugitive was in the very back. So I get my computer out and I'm looking up and I'm looking at the address. I'm like, man, it's only a mile off the interstate. I wonder if she's going to be there. It's early in the morning. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll get him. It was a 10,000. I don't remember what hers was. I have no idea what her charges were. But he sends me the paperwork.
Yep.
He emailed it to me. I have everything digitally. I don't have everything out in paperwork, but I got it digitally just in case cops get called.
You got to have your CYA.
Yep. So we get off the exit, and the fugitive in the back is like, what are we doing? I'm like, hey, we're getting somebody else. You're going to sit tight back there. We pull up as a couple little trailers off the road, like not much to them.
Right.
And we get out, we go knock on the door, and this girl comes up to the door. I'm just going to call her naked because she was butt naked. And it scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh, God. I was like, ma'am, I said, can you put some clothes on? She was like, hang on. She grabs a robe, puts it on, comes to the door. She goes, can I help you? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, you missed court, and you got to come back with me. She goes, okay, no problem. I was like, man, this is...
Wish they all went like that, right?
Yeah, right? So she goes, well, can I put on some clothes? I'm like, sure, but, I don't know what you're doing back there, so can you just...
Yeah.
I won't watch you, but I'll watch, kind of around you. I don't want to,
Yeah,
I don't want to be a perv.
Very touchy situation.
Yeah. So she was cool. She gets her clothes, she puts them on, she comes up to me, and she's a little thing. And she holds her hand out. I put the handcuffs on her. I'm like, I don't think these things are going to fit. That's what I'm thinking to myself. But I didn't tell her that. I'm like, it's whatever. I'm like, you ain't going to give me no trouble. She goes, no, not at all. I was like, okay, cool. I'll feed you. We'll, do the whole night.
Still chancy to do.
Still chancy to do.
But yeah.
But she sits back. We go back to the truck, and I forgot to tell you this earlier before the show started.
Yeah.
Go back to the truck, and this some bitch that we got out of Texas, he's already climbed over the back seat into the second seat, and he's looking, right? He's looking at the driver. There's no keys in the ignition. And he's like, but he's all tangled up because he's got leg chains on. He's got handcuffs on. He can't really move much, but he got over the seat. I got up there, and he didn't see me coming. I put my taser, the red dot. I looked at him. I said, hey, better get your ass back in that seat. And he goes, okay. So I said, bro, I will beat you right here in this truck. He was thinking about stealing the truck.
Say that warrants a baton in the back of the knee.
Yeah, right. So we get in, we stop, we feed them because we're hungry too. We feed them. I think we all go sit in like at a Waffle House, and we got both of them in handcuffs.
Yeah, I love watching people's reaction when you bring somebody in handcuffs.
Yeah, we had a good time at Waffle House. We fed them, left, and we met the bondsman at south of the border.
That's a shady spot.
It is.
I think that's a trafficking spot.
I do too, man. That place is disgusting.
It's very horrible.
It's nasty. You ever stopped in the bathroom there?
I maybe once. I think I did a long time ago on one of our trips, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're on that long stretch and you just pull over here.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there.
Quick little story. One time, you remember my buddy Chuck?
Yeah.
So me, Chuck, and like 6 other dudes were like going down to Talladega for a week for the race.
Yeah.
And we stopped in there, and we were all been drinking. This is 20-something years ago when I was in my early 20s. We were partying. And we saw like a writing on the wall that says, for a good time, call this number. So we got the number off the wall, and we called the dude. we were messing with him for hours, had him driving all over the place. And finally, we're like, hey, dude, like...
Wait a minute. This was a dude.
Yes, it was a dude. It was a number off the bathroom stall. We had him drive for like 4 hours.
It's like that scene from Dumb and Dumber when he goes to the bathroom.
We told him to go sodomize himself with a rusty screwdriver. He got so mad at us.
You messed up his advertising.
Oh, south of the border. Wow. That was hilarious. So anyway, back to the story. We meet the bondsman at south of the border. and switch off with them. And we get back and we turned a rental car back into Enterprise, and they called me in there. They were like, "Hey, Rob." I was like, "Yeah." Remember it was remember Riley?
Yeah. She used to hook us up.
She said, "Rob, come here." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What the hell did you do to this Nissan?" I said, "I don't know. It was somewhere down in Houston or something. I don't know what happened to it." She's like, "I hope the insurance company will cover this." She called me back later and she goes, "The insurance company did cover it, but they will not allow me to drive any more rental cars from now on."
Oh.
So that's where that kind of, because I also messed up a truck on I-20 going to Atlanta one time, put a hole in the side of the truck going through a construction site.
You have a hard time with construction sites, don't you?
Man, I was just driving normal. I don't understand it. So that was my story to Corpus Christi, Texas, and I promise you, to the sheriff down there, I guarantee you, sir, I will not come down again unless I talk to you. And that was the last time I ever went. I've been to Texas before.
I want to go to Houston. Is it not Houston? Austin. I want to go to Austin.
Yeah, I like to go see the Austin city limits out there. It's a venue.
Yeah.
And it's right there now. I think near Joe Rogan's place.
Well, the mothership. That's where I want to go.
Hello,
Joe.
What's happening?
up?
Hey, look, we'll like to come on your podcast.
We can be on your show, Joe.
Yeah.
And you can be on ours.
Yeah, we'll fly down
Fair
there.
deal.
To you.
Fair
What's
deal.
up?
I do. If somebody knows who we can, talk to, because I do want to get either him or Theo Vaughn for Michelle.
Oh yeah.
I would love for us to be on there, but Michelle's more interesting than us.
Yeah.
So anybody knows who to talk to or whatever, we would love that opportunity.
Awesome. Well, that's my story, Chad.
That's a cool one, Rob.
Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And that's it. And we got some more stories coming up. I mean, we're pulling these out like, oh, you remember this? Oh, no. I do
well,
now.
You were telling me that. I just spurred another. Well, actually, I got a notification that this other guy just got released from jail. From VineLink sends you notifications. And I was like, oh, you remember that guy's name? And like, he was the one that
Tony got for us.
Yeah, up in Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Hill. He's another hunter. He hunts a lot for bankers also, Banker Surety. Bankers, got to say hello to you. Bankers.
What's up?
And we got to say hello to Palmetto too. Scott Palmetto.
Willis.
Thank you,
great.
sir.
You're both great people, great companies.
I really like having both of them.
Yeah.
As
They're the
sure
two
is.
I like what
They've been over
with.
backwards for us.
Yeah. They've been great to us.
But Tony is a hunter also for bankers and some other surety companies because you got U.S. Fire. I mean, you got a ton of them.
Right.
And Tony, I met him years and years ago through bankers, through Pam. Mm-hmm. And we've done a lot of stuff
All that
together.
networking that we did originally when we got started.
Yeah.
It pays off because we, end up knowing a lot of people. And it's easy to pick up the phone and say, hey, man, can you go help me out?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And they do it with us, so it works out good.
Right on. Well, this episode...
We got one tomorrow that's going to be interesting, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. God, that'd be a good story right there.
Yeah, I think so.
We're going after your brother.
Yeah.
So it's going to... He's nearby, and he's running on statutory rape charges on a child.
Yeah.
So we're coming after you, my humper. We're coming. We're coming.
Yeah.
We're going to get you.
Tomorrow.
And you're going to be having turkey in jail. I can guarantee you that one.
If all goes well, I'm bringing my bullpup.
Oh, yes. Do it, Chad. Do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. Love it. Well, until then, we'll keep you guys informed on that one. That's going to be a good one.
Right.
All right, Chad. Well,
our job is your entertainment.
yes, that's awesome. That was a good entertaining episode. If you like to see us, you can go to our YouTube channel, Off the Hook Podcast. We're up there looking pretty.
As it can.
As we can. We can only cover up So much ugliness, right? All right. Well, that's it for me. I'm Rob.
And I'm Chad.
And we will talk to you next time.
You've been listening to Off the Hook with Chad and Rob. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And be sure to follow us for notifications for another exciting episode. But in the meantime, you can go to our website at www.offthehookbail.com to see more. So until next time, stay out of trouble, or it'll be you that needs to get off the hook. See you soon.